All right, pleasant good morning, everybody. A little bit of a getaway day here for us on this holiday week. Christmas just a couple of days away. I will be doing most of my shopping Wednesday night around midnight. Stores be open late on Christmas Eve. I hope so.
No, the opposite.
You know what's great about the grandkids? They have virtually everything. I mean, there's no toy or no. They don't even deal in toys anymore. They deal in electronics and
Yeah, it's funny.
things of that nature. But there's nothing they don't have. I mean, their rooms are stuffed in two different households. Their grandparents on my son's wife's side take good care of them. They live in a neighborhood, and they frequently take care of the two kids who are now 10 and 7, so they're pretty much independent. They're plotting their own stuff together. So it's an easy one with the grandkids because Liam, of course, he at one time his favorite human being. I don't know if that's the case anymore because I'm not sure if he's involved in any kind of political leanings at 10. He might be. He's a good shot. But he wanted to be Jeff Bezos. That was his idol, Jeff Bezos. And he's great at math and really seems to be focused on accumulating money. So his favorite thing to receive is a stick. And he actually calls it a stick. He says, Grandpa Defo, did you bring the stick? Kind of sounds like the guy that meets you at the track, that you vote 200 for the last several years. Hey, you got my sticks? Huh? Anyway, so that makes it easy. I guess a gift card could be in order to some local restaurant for my son and his wife. And then do we stop with just cards for the other people? There are probably like 3 or 4 more people that are going to be assembled at the family gathering. Or do you get the usual bottle of Kendall Jackson, which no longer is like $9.99 anymore, and it's like gone into a $20 category? Thank you. Are there tariffs on anything being shipped from California because so-and-so hates Newsom? And by the way, I mean, wow, you talk about the death of journalism in America. I mean, how they pull that piece. Did you see it yet, Lubie?
I heard of what they did. I haven't seen the piece. I mean,
There was nothing in there that didn't seem to be verifiably factual.
all fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're in the age of ignoring facts. That's what
This is what was happening.
Of regimes do.
This is what they did to these people. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's what those regimes do, or these kind of regimes. Call it whatever you want. We're not allowed to call it what it is. Those regimes want to ignore fact because fact is the thing that tears them apart. They like lies.
The thing that really stood out to me was Caroline Levitt, who makes Huckabee Sanders seem like a saint in terms of being a purveyor of truth. But nonetheless, and at least Huckabee Sanders was kind of comical with this stuff. I mean, this one's just off the chart.
And she's
screaming, we're getting rid of the most heinous criminals, and these are murderers and rapists. And meanwhile, they have an interview. Alfonsi, the reporter, does a nice job on a lot of different things, but she did a really good job on this. And one of the people that they shipped off to CCOT was a gay hairdresser who had no criminal record, never even had a traffic ticket. And they subjected this guy to literally, I mean, just unspeakable torture.
And they have no evidence a lot of the time. They don't do any due diligence. A lot of times, these are citizens.
He was going through proper channels to seek asylum.
Oh my, yeah, they're doing
everything that you're supposed to do, and they picked him out of a lineup there. There's this bridge. I don't know if you ever watched this border thing they have on TV. It's which channel is it that plays all those type of shows? And the contraband at the border. I think it's.
Oh, good. You know more
called, than I do. Yeah. So I mean, I've seen this bridge where the people line up to try and seek asylum from Mexico into the United States, and it's all very orderly. They literally just stopped this guy out of nowhere because he had a tattoo. There was another guy who was a soccer player who had there's a crown on what is it? Which the team in Spain that is it Barcelona?
Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Real Madrid, yeah. Real Madrid has a crown as part of its emblem.
Yes, they do.
This guy's a soccer player, so he had like a soccer ball with a crown on it, the emblem of Real Madrid, his favorite team, clearly. And they looked at that and said, you're MS-13. Boom, CCOT, man. And the cruelty these people were subjected to is just absurd. And for people to just shrug their shoulders at this and go, well, you know what, every now and then they're going to make a mistake. You got to be kidding me, man. That was incredible. But to pull that piece after promoting it, because the Trump administration would not allow anybody to go ahead and go on the record and say something, All they had to do was say, "Well, you know what? We don't know anything about that." I mean, they could have put Tom. Hey, is that 50,000 in that brown bag? Homan on there, and that would have at least been somewhat accountable. He could have gone ahead and spread more lies. But wow, it's a shame that this is what this country has come to. It really is. And the people, I understand that we'll get a lot of venomous comments. Hey, shut up, stick to sports. You don't know anything. It just this is not what we were protesting for in the late '60s.
No.
We were very impassioned about what was going on in the world at the time, and it's a shame to just try to separate yourself from that. I don't know why I trouble myself with it at 74, but I just hate to see what the hell is happening out there. And 60 Minutes, one of my favorite shows for as long as I can remember. You think Mike Wallace is rolling over in his grave?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and Walter
Caesar, any of these guys?
CBS, wasn't CBS the home of Walter Cronkite? Like that's what people keep saying is like the home of Walter Cronkite, the home of all these legendary Edward Murrow, I think, across CBS at some point, like all these legendary journalistic figures.
My God.
And it's all honest. Again, there's nothing it's just the truth. They are doing really crazy stuff and they want no one to talk about it, which is freaking weird in the United States of America.
Well, what does it accomplish though? Sending this gay hairdresser to CCOT?
Nothing. It's just about waving your hand. Again, it's busy work. That's really what it is. It's heinous, violent, vicious, busy work. They don't know how to govern. They don't want to govern.
Yeah.
So what it is, but they learned in the first time, eventually, if you do nothing, either it goes bad and then they blame you, or they give credit to the prior regime. So they're like, let's do a lot of stuff, though. Let's not have any idea what we're doing, but let's do a lot, because then it'll look like we're doing stuff. What they don't realize is they're so incompetent that the stuff is really bad that they're doing. So it's way worse than nothing. So, but that's what it is. It's just busy. We're like, okay, that's just great. Again, it's been proven Biden actually deported almost double the people that they're deporting.
Obama was deporting people too, yeah.
But they were deporting the right people that were criminals, people that were overstayed visas, people that weren't through due diligence and the right channel to realize, okay, these people really shouldn't be here. What they're doing is deporting less people in very criminal fashions and very psychotic, sick. Like when you hear about it from other countries, you're disgusted. Yeah. What's happening here now? And it's people that are citizens and are legal, and they just want to do stuff.
My favorite, one of my favorite movies of all time, of course, Steve McQueen, Dustin Hoffman in the movie Papillon. Had a great message to it. Tremendous movie, and I could watch it all day, 1,000 times a day, and you still come away feeling like, yeah, you know what? Strive for everything. Your freedom and your ability to go out there and be yourself is everything that you really want in life. And I mean, these conditions were even more draconian than Papillon was experiencing. Unbelievable. In the French prisoner Papillon in Guyana, some torture chamber. Anyway, we want to get off that because it's a festive mood today. Tony Segreto is going to join us for a little old school. We'll bring him in here in just a second. A few things here, Lubie. I'll let you pick which one you want to get involved in first. Okay. All right, and these are a little off the beaten path. We saw the drubbing yesterday. San Francisco's not a bad team. The Colts defense, surprisingly, couldn't do anything. They could not stop San Francisco last night. 49ers have a chance to end up, I think they have an outside shot of being the number one seed. They're like one game back of the pace that's being set in the NFC. Kind of surprising to me. I didn't think they would be that good. They've been decimated by injuries also, like many teams have. And yet have found a way to just be rolling. 5 touchdown passes for Brock Purdy, who's been dissed. Looked pretty good in a ball game last night. Phillip Rivers, is he not an automatic for comeback player of the year, Lubie? Just based on the fact that he had them in 2 games so far? I pulled away late. The final score, you could see that San Francisco was going to ultimately prevail in this ball game, or it seemed to be going that way almost throughout. But nonetheless, it was competitive for the better part of 3 quarters plus. And Rivers has him in the game, and he almost pulled out that first game against 2 of the top teams in the league, both AFC and NFC. You have Phillip Rivers at 44 years old hanging in there, and he didn't look half bad last night. Had 1 interception, pretty good completion percentage, scrambled a couple of times. That was hard to watch. He looked like Chester from Gunsmoke running. He was left there. And
he can't move, but they have a decent line, and they have one of the best running backs in football. So you can get an old guy back there and him at least be competent is what I think
Why not start Y.A. Tittle there? I mean, what the hell?
Well, they just need a guy that's not going to take too many chances. And Rivers was once that. At this point in his career, I guess he's that no longer. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a certain amount of games you have to play. This is only like game 2. So I don't think you're getting comeback player of the year for 5 games. But
how can you not be the comeback player of the year when you came back after 5 years on the shelf? After retiring, after like a 20-year career. I mean, it's not like this guy played a couple of seasons, got hurt, and now he's back. But that was pretty wild. Anyway, that was a significant game in that 3 teams, I believe, clinched a playoff spot as a result of the loss by the Indianapolis Colts, who looked like they were going to be a really outstanding club early in the year, and they've now lost 5 in a row. All right, this upsets me, Lubie. I don't know about you. This probably doesn't concern you as much. But I was not a big college football guy until I moved to California and started covering college football. I mean, at Syracuse, when I was there, the team had fallen into an abyss.
Yeah.
I got there the year after. In 1969 was the year after Larry Zonka departed, and they never reached that level again, ever. Didn't come close. I mean, they had that run of the 5 great running backs. Can we name them all, Lubie? We should be able to, right? Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, Jim Nance, Jim Brown, and Larry Zonka. So you had overlapping over a 20-year span, those 5 guys carrying the football for you if you were a Syracuse Orange fan. And guess what? That's all they did was run the ball back then. Forward pass was not really in vogue. And Ben Schwartzwalder, the venerable old coach who became a geezer, I mean, this guy, Syracuse had the oldest coaches for a couple of their sports that you've ever seen. The baseball coach was the guy we called the Buzzard, Andy Mogish. And Ben Schwartzwalder was still the football coach, and he refused to throw the ball more than 3 times a game. 4th and 50 from the shadow of your own goal line.
Running a draw.
He'd run Roger Pretorius up the middle, and you're like, what? What are you doing there? Disgrace to the number 44. But and so even when I was at the Cuse, I got a little more into college football than I was when I was in New York City. We didn't give a flying one about college football there because we didn't have any teams. Who are you going to root for? CW Post? I don't know. Did they have a football team? Nassau Community? Hofstra didn't sport a football team. NYU was a basketball school. Really wasn't much going on in the city there. And Syracuse may as well have been in another country as far as
Syracuse is like not.
There's no relation between Western New York and New York City. So I started getting into college football pretty heavily when I was covering it for various publications in California, which I worked at 2 different papers there, the Fontana Herald News, heralded bastion of journalistic integrity, and the Ontario Daily Distort, yesterday's news tomorrow. And so I got to cover a lot of USC football, and one of the great series, and they had 2 games every year that you didn't want to miss. USC versus UCLA and USC versus Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. It's a 100-year-old rivalry, Lubie, and it's being taken down. Done.
Oh, really? Oh, it's finally done. You know, with the Big Ten, I mean, it's hard. They were going to play like 9 conference games. Like, it's hard to have any out-of-conference games.
The deal was that Lincoln Riley, and I don't know, who is the AD now at USC? Do we know? I mean, have they had more than one since Pat Hayden was there? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they decided, and this is sad because this should be about competition. I know there's a lot of screaming about these Group 5 schools getting into the CFP and they don't belong. Saban talking about, and is he wrong? Is Nick Saban wrong in making the
Jennifer Cohen? It's a lady. Jennifer Cohen is what I'm saying. Jennifer Cohen.
Well, if this is how she's going to perform, I'm in favor of her impeachment immediately. Get her out of here. That's a rivalry you don't want to see go away. 100-year rivalry, Lubie, out the window. It was bad enough when Notre Dame dropped the University of Miami, and this time it was USC didn't want to play Notre Dame in November because of the weight given to later season losses when it comes to making the college football playoff. Now, USC is not in the college football playoff. I would venture to say, in the 3 years that the college football playoff has had the current committee deciding, have they been in the playoff at all? No, right?
No.
So to take down this rivalry based on a concern that the weight of that game at the time of the season, it's the time of the season, would be more harmful to their playoff chances than it would be worth playing the game and preserving a 100-year rivalry. Pathetic, Lubie.
Oh, no,
pathetic.
I mean, but we're going to see more of it. The fact that strength of schedule and stuff like that matters, but your record matters. We're seeing as much, if not more. Like teams are going to just schedule cake. I mean, it's especially out of conference. Out of conference, you're not going to see big time out of conference matchups anymore. Like it's just not worth it. Even with the 12 teams, it's funny. Like you can't really have more than 2 losses. Like it's not the NFL yet. So like
Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. And they were excoriated and judged, and they almost didn't get in. And if they weren't Alabama, they wouldn't have gotten in. So yeah, schools are going to shy away from the matchups that we've gotten so used to and enjoyed. Like it's gonna, especially rivalries. Interconference rivalries are gonna probably go away. I mean, they're probably not gonna exist anymore after the next year or two.
All right, I had a bunch of other stuff, but we're gonna bring Tony in here because we're gonna get to a little old school. Tony's standing by for a while. There he is. Tony, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Well, I want to tell you guys, I'm coming out of retirement.
Okay.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start playing. I'm gonna start warming up my arm.
Oh yeah, play football. Well, you're coming back for baseball. You were a big time baseball player, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
You could do baseball. The Marlins could use it.
Oh, and I always thought you were a catcher, but you said what? Well, you were second baseman.
Second, right?
You were like Cookie Lamagetto or something. I mean,
quick hands.
Louis Castillo.
What kind of hitter were you, Tony? Any power?
Yeah, I could hit.
Line drive, gap.
My father, God love his soul, used to remark that he used to have to hit it over the fence in order to get around all the bases.
You weren't fast. I could see a fleet-footed Segreto running around the bases, racing like Rodriguez.
I'm flat-footed. I think you are too, aren't you, Defo?
Yeah, we call that Jew feet. I don't mean that in any kind of disparaging way, but Jewish people are notoriously flat-footed.
Very flat-footed too.
Yeah.
You are too, Lubie?
100%. Oh, my feet are bad. And when I was young, after playing for hours, my feet would always be super sore.
No arch.
That's a big issue. Yep.
You know, I get out of the water, I get out of the pool, and I got a foot mark plain as day.
Yep.
Wow, you can never get away with any criminal activity, Tony. Being if you're not Jewish, I really believe that you might have some Jewish blood. I mean, the Italians and the Jews were always kind of close.
You know, my father, again, I invoke my father's name. My father used to work in the schmata business.
Yeah,
and he worked with predominantly Jewish people.
He worked on Schmata Road.
That's a surprise. Was he on Schmata Row in Allendale? My favorite street.
Schmata Row, yes.
There's a Boulevard of Broken Dreams and Schmata Row, my 2 favorite streets.
Yes, he was. And he would say there are 2 types of Italian, 2 types of people. Ones who want to be Jewish and ones who want to be Italian, except Italians have the better food.
100%.
Wow, that's
a lot. Yeah, I like a lot. I mean, I like some Jewish delicacies are solid, but Italian, it's not even.
Do you
consider delicatessen food to be Jewish food? It's
yes,
not entirely.
I do, and it's still Italian food blows it away. A good Reuben's.
Do you make matzah?
My mom makes matzah brie.
Matzah brie.
I can't eat it, but my family, it's matzah brie. My family loves it. Not a fan. Matzah's not flavorful at all.
I used to love matzahs. I did. Matzahs and butter.
I don't understand how. It's the worst.
I used to have
I couldn't eat one now, yeah.
Yeah. Matzahs and butter.
That was it. Matzahs and butter were great. I mean, we would put anything on a matzah, but yeah, those days are long gone for me. All right. Where do you weigh in on this? A couple of things here, Tony, right on the shoot. And we'll get into some college football. But I mean, this bothers me, actually. I hate seeing that USC Notre Dame rivalry busted up. I used to look so forward to that game. There was so much hype about that game. I was lucky.
My son's here. My son's here. And my daughter comes in today. My son and I talked about it the other night. We are so upset that they're not playing anymore.
Unbelievable.
100-year rivalry. How could they do that?
And a great 100-year rivalry.
Yeah. And for the athletic director and the head coach to marry each other and say it impacts the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Notre Dame offered a possibility of scheduling a game in November. And Lincoln Riley and the athletic director, who what was her name again, Lubie? I didn't.
Jennifer Cohen is what
Jennifer Cohen, nice Jewish girl.
Yeah.
She.
Jewish guy. I don't know. I don't know.
How do you suspend that based on? Shouldn't you just say, "Hey, screw it. You know what? We're playing Notre Dame whether we make the playoff or not. If we can't beat
100%.
Notre Dame, then guess what? We're out of the playoff. It's quite possible. But to
Yes.
base it on the timing of the schedule, that's the real raw edge. I mean, I was lucky. McKay was a coach there briefly when towards the end of his career when I was covering USC, and then the great John Robinson. It was a pleasure. What a regal program that was. And Notre Dame, of course. I mean, even though I'm not a Notre Dame fan and I root for them to lose every game, and I'm screaming that Rudy was offside, still, I mean, it's a storied program. Beating Notre Dame. I mean, if you hated them like I did, you couldn't wait to see USC. You couldn't wait to see Anthony Munoz bury some Notre Dame running back. Well, he would have been burying a tackle, defensive tackle. But, or lineman. But yeah, I mean, it was a great rivalry, great players, a lot of stars in those games, and I hate to see that go away.
Well, something our buddy the professor was talking about. Look at what Indiana has done the last 2 years. They made the playoffs, and just being Indiana, even winning 10 games, whatever your schedule is impressive. But they played no one out of conference. They played no one out of conference. So when you're USC and you're watching, and again, they got 2 losses. I think one of them was early in the year out of like it sucks. I think it's stupid and it's another thing to the ruination of college athletics. But teams are like, okay, if Indiana's going to just skate on by without doing it, then we're going to not do it too, and it's just annoying. I grew up in the era where Bobby played anyone. I remember hearing the story about Schnelly playing anyone. That's literally how MNF built their programs. And I've always been the fan of, I don't care who. Look, if you can't beat them, then you shouldn't be there. If you're a great team, you should be able to beat whoever's in front of you. Agreed. They're soft now. They're like,
Agreed.
All right, we're going to work the system. If these guys are going to work the system, so are we. And there's so much money out there for making the playoffs and then making the next round. And then that it's like, from a business decision, I sort of can't fight them on it. It just sucks. It's sad. It's just, you're watching it disintegrate in front of our eyes.
That's where I give the Notre Dame credit because they still schedule the hard teams.
Yeah.
Well, at least they put a proposition out there. I do remember when the Florida rivalry went down, when Kaputski and Schnellenberger was on his hands and knees begging the Florida Gators to schedule the game and made concessions that were absurd.
And you do 2-1, right?
I remember when they were going to give in a 4-game package, they were going to give Florida 2 home games and play 1 at a neutral site in Orlando, which is hardly a neutral site, and 1 home game for Miami. And the Gators turned their nose up at that and said, "Oh, no, we got the SEC schedule. We can't play this game."
Don't start on Florida.
But I mean, what is sports supposed to be all about? It's so ridiculous to see what's going on in the world, and then when you see, my beloved sport of boxing, the most interest generated is by a guy.
Does it even exist anymore?
Yeah, I mean, it's out there. There are a lot of great boxers, a lot of big fights. There's no doubt. But the thing that gathers the attention is this circus with Jake Paul.
I remember growing up and sitting down and watching the Friday night fights with my uncles.
Gillette Fight of the Week. My
father used to pick up Willie Pastrana.
Willie Pastrana, wow.
On the way to work.
You and Dundee. I mean, Angelo and Chris being Miami guys. That was one of the phenomenal things. One of the first things I experienced here was I went down to the Fifth Street Gym, and who do I see? It's like, that's effing Angelo Dundee. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
this is great.
My fondest memories are, and this is old school, going to the gym and seeing and hanging out with Muhammad Ali.
Phenomenal times. Yes. There were always a couple of champions in there. It wasn't quite, it was an interesting place, that Fifth Street Gym.
It was so interesting. And it's just shame they tore it down.
Well, I mean, it probably was in need of a dust-up of some sort, but and I'm doubtful that it could have carried on this kind of legacy.
But think of it. Think of all the champions that they had go through there. Not to mention train there.
Greatest shot ever was Ali with the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the Beatles going up those creaky stairs into, and the gym had the smell of a classic boxing gym. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
smelled like an old sweaty jockstrap. And the blood still splattered on the walls. They had those windows, which were kind of,
There-
real old school in terms of the fixture. A lot of gyms didn't have that kind of thing where you actually saw daylight. But no, that was a great place. All right, so the rivalry goes down, Notre Dame and USC. I'm glad you're on that. I did want to ask you about this real quickly though, Tony, because we started talking about this, and it was appalling to me. My favorite show growing up, one of my favorite shows, and still to this day, has always been 60 Minutes. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
love it. And I mean, it was up there. It was a news version for me of like HBO Real Sports, where they got into some great storytelling and they had great journalists involved. And they would take on obviously the most serious issues of the day, and they would discover stuff and bring it to the public's attention that would have gone unnoticed. That was definitely something that the public needed to know. It was always great. Mike Wallace with the transmission shops, where he'd put the guy who put the hand over the camera and go, I'm not talking to you, Mike.
Dan Rather, Morley Safer. I mean, just legends of the journalistic world.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
and all kinds of great
the
people.
only thing I have to say about that
Yeah,
is this administration is chipping away at our democracy.
I don't even know that they're not chipping away, Tony.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Taking a sledgehammer to
I'm being
any
kind.
principle that you've ever embraced in your lifetime. It's
When
amazing.
60 Minutes, the only news program that still exists, is getting rid of fully factually checked, proven segments that they've been promoting. Because that's the other thing too, is it wasn't something that
Promoting.
people said. They were promoting the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And
They don't do that. Like once you
But-
start promoting it, it goes. Even if people get fired, like you air the thing to
but
then
they,
cut it before it's aired. They're just demolishing them. I mean, this is just
they bowed to the
100%.
pressure.
They're going-
How could
Oh,
they
yeah.
give in to the pressure?
because CBS has already done that with that stupid ass
That
merger.
was
They
insane.
got rid of Colbert. I mean, and
You offer the
They
people a chance to speak on the piece. They decline, and so you say, "Well, we asked so and so, Christy Nome, to come on, but she told us to go bleep ourselves and let this stand on its own." Unbelievable. So no, that was sad. A very sad day all the way around, and I'm glad the piece circulated because, to tell you the truth, they had done a previous piece on this place, and it was very similar, except this time we had people that actually experienced this level of cruelty. And they're speaking on the record, and it didn't seem like they were making stuff up. In fact, I thought they were pretty sedate about it in describing their experience there, which included 4 months of what seemed like endless torture. So that was for this gay hairdresser to get him out of the country because America's much better off without this poor guy being a makeup artist or whatever he was doing out in Los Angeles. So very, very sad. All right.
I read a story. I read a story yesterday that
Yeah.
this poor woman was sitting in a hairdresser's off at the hairdresser's place, and she was taken out of her seat and detained and shipped back.
It's insane. It really is. That we're just standing by and watching this around the holidays. Very, very tragic. All right. Your Hurricanes. A couple of things here, Tony, that directly are in your wheelhouse. Hurricanes hang on and win that game. Tough fought game against Texas A&M. A lot of people thought the 10-3 score was indicative that neither team was all that good, but very difficult conditions. Cristobal out coaching Mike Elko. Is that possible?
Yeah.
That was the case, but it's
was
interesting
okay,
to
and
think
so-
about that. And now going against Ohio State. Ryan
7
D is going to be calling plays in this game. I'm not sure if that's. Oh, was he not calling plays before? Ryan Day is going to be calling plays for Ohio State. He's taking over the play calling. Was he not calling plays before, Lubie? You would know more about this.
This year, I thought he was. Now, last year, 2 years ago, he had Chip Kelly, but he didn't really let Chip Kelly, and then he let Chip Kelly, and they soared under Chip Kelly. This year, it was Brian Hartline who was the OC. Brian Hartline is now moving to USF, but he's still with the team, I thought. But
Okay.
Ryan Hartline's never been a play caller guy. So I thought Ryan Day was already calling the plays all year long.
I think Hartline is myself.
Hartline was actually more involved with plays. Yeah, maybe with Hartline focusing on USF, he's not taking any chances. I don't know.
They both do it. Maybe they both do it.
I thought Ryan Day was.
I mean, here's the story right here. I'm reading it out of the paper.
Yeah.
Paper. Ryan Day will call the offensive plays for Ohio State during the college football playoff, beginning with the December 31st quarterfinal game at the Cotton Bowl against Miami. So he's taking over the play calling duties.
So it doesn't mention who did it before. Usually in an article like
Maybe it was Hartline. That's possible if he was.
would then say formerly.
Well, whoever was calling the plays in their previous game against Indiana was just a complete ass, I thought, and basically handed the game to Indiana with some really poor choices. Now, that's very easy to say when the plays fail. So, everybody's always screaming on Mike McDaniel, but Mike McDaniel does these bozo plays that are destined to fail, that fail more often than they succeed. In the red.
Does Mike McDaniel watch the game?
That's my problem with people, because I started this. I'm like, look, I think he just needs more time as an OC and then get back to being a head coach. But I hate his play calling. So I don't know why I would want him as an OC. That's what scares me. Maybe I guess if he's just the OC, he'd be better. You just referred. Maybe he has so much going on that he's actually missing the game in front of him, because his play calling in key moments of a game is as bad as I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
He never looks up.
Never looks at the game.
That's Defo. Defo loves.
I was talking about that yesterday. He's like this. It's 45-14. We're like 4 minutes to go in a game, and the guy's got his plate chart, a microphone, and I'm thinking, you know what? Why don't you take a look at the effing scoreboard, Mike? You're down 31 points. It doesn't really make any difference, whether you've got the next play figured out or you're 2 plays ahead. The game's over. Take a look at what's going on out there. Ask yourself, is there anybody out there playing hard still?
Exactly.
Here's the Bengal team decimated by injuries all year. Joe Burrow was out there, 4-10 coming in, and they're playing with all the heart of a team that had their entire season on the line. And the Miami Dolphins are out there goofing around.
You know what? It doesn't matter whether I'm in Vermont or in Florida or wherever. This half hour of the day is by far the funniest half hour I ever spent.
It never stops. The absurdities. It never stop, Lubie. We were talking about this yesterday. I mean, some poor woman is in the boiler room in the Philippines, and they probably have some AI-generated translator so that when she calls people, it sounds like it's in English. And is Filipino the language, actual language in the Philippines?
Tagalog. It's called Tagalog.
Tagalog. Okay, I wouldn't know that.
Tagalog, something like that.
All right. So, so they have somebody in a boiler room there, and they're making calls now, and they're translating it via AI, and the phone rings in your place, Tony Segreto, and the woman very distinctly says and succinctly says, "Hi, Mr. Segreto. I see you've been a loyal fan and season ticket holder for the Miami Dolphins for the last 25 years. We're offering you a chance to renew your tickets at only a slight 10% increase for the 2026 season. Can we count on you, Mr. Segreto, to be in the stands?" I mean, imagine having that job. Even a woman that has no idea what you're saying back on the other end. Got to be wondering, I mean, why she took this job over working in some Nike factory somewhere for $1 a day. I mean, that would be torture, wouldn't it? Trying to sell season tickets.
Torture.
My God.
My God.
Crazy stuff.
He doesn't look up.
Not once.
When he's never talking to anyone. Like, we've complained about coaches who don't work both sides of the ball. Like, that's happened. The great coaches you see with the DBs, and they're fine, but not every coach does that. Okay, he was an offensive guy. Maybe he's dealing with the O-line. Fine. But he doesn't talk to players. He never talks to anyone. Like, it's freaking weird. Like, I don't even care about the yelling stuff or the meek stuff. We've seen coaches of both manners win. Bill Walsh was very mild manner. You could also be Shula, who's very out there. Like, all forms can win. It's about the brain and putting it together and having a good GM. Fine. But the fact that he doesn't talk to anyone ever, that's freaking weird. I'm sorry. He's never communicated. He's always by himself looking at the goddamn thing. And it's like, dude, what's going on with your team? What are you doing with your team? It's freaking, the disconnection is so strange.
And then when he's interviewed,
Oh,
That's
Jesus. I
That's
can't
La
even,
La
I
Land,
can't
yeah.
even freaking listen. I can't listen.
He really has gone from like the mad genius to Professor Irwin Corey in the span of about 4 years, man. It's amazing.
That's a great analogy.
It's incoherent stuff. I mean, when he's up there, you're looking at this guy going, obviously he's intelligent. I liked in the beginning his sort of thoughtfulness that he approached everything with, and now it seemed. I noticed that. I mean, in this last game especially, 4 minutes to go, you're getting crushed. Put the play chart down and watch the game.
Watch the game.
Hold your
Enjoy at
arms,
least.
have a look on your face like Shula did. Stick the jaw out and go. If you guys don't suck it up and make a play, I don't care if we just win these last 4 minutes. I want to see something.
Yeah,
And that was
exactly.
it. Those halftime adjustments had to be key, though, that they made.
And now, God, Tua may get released.
That would be interesting. Just let the guy go. Wow. They still get crushed though on the salary cap. So what's the deal there?
They're going to try to trade him, but
See, to me, if you don't get a trade, you keep him because again, he's at least a viable starter / backup to go and to eat his dead money and then go pay another veteran to be like, that's just stupid to me. Suppose again, the reality is, and people don't understand this, the guarantee money ends next year. Okay, so you see in the NFL and the NBA all the time that's an expiring contract. Like the guy has led the league in yards more times than he hasn't. Like in his 6 years, I think 3 times he led the league in yards. I think he was top 5 in touchdowns. So like he can be a quarterback. It's not that he's horrible. He just can't be this team's quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. Between the health and now he's regressed, probably because the offensive line beat him up for years. Like he can't be this team's quarterback, but you can't just, to me, cutting him's dumb. Like you either trade him or you keep him on the roster, bring in another young guy, let them compete for a year. And then after next year, you can get rid of him and there's no penalty.
I feel like this, if you have a guy that you're bringing in who's competing with your $50 million a year quarterback, then you're screwed. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I mean, he shouldn't be on the roster. You're penalized too much to just get rid of him. Like, it's just not worth it to me. He's still viable. Like the guy can be, he's not Kerry Collins at the end of it. Like the guy can be an NFL quarterback. Like to just eat 50 million or $1 million. Cause I think if you get rid of him, it's $100 million of dead money. Like that's stupid. Like it's just, to me, it's just not worth it. Should he be around? No, it looks freaking weird seeing your top 5 picks standing there with a clipboard, but we've seen lots of weird things in the NFL. Like to me, you got to business wise.
Stephen Ross has got the money.
Stephen Ross, it's incredible. He just invested like $10 billion in doing a whole makeover of Palm Beach. This guy, I was saying yesterday, because it struck me, I never see these areas of Palm Beach because my first destination is Belvedere Boulevard. I love any street named after a vodka. And where does that lead you? If you go west, straight to the Palm Beach Kennel Club, which is probably the most visited and frequented destination I've ever dealt with in Palm Beach. Tony, believe it or not, a quick prediction here. We got to get going because we got the professor, and I can't believe this has flown by. We got to you a little bit late. Sorry about that. But a quick prediction on Ohio State. What do you think?
I want but I got to go with Ohio State.
All right. I mean, it's not inconceivable that they. Do you see getting crushed to the tune of last I saw it was like 9 and a hook? The line. No. They're worth a shot, aren't they? I mean, are they worth a shot on the money?
Definitely worth a shot.
If it's really hovering around double digits, I mean, they play really good defense. They don't really turn the ball over. Cristobal's staying out of the way, it seems. Like, I think Ohio State's going to win, but that spreads a lot. It's a playoff game. It's neutral site. So it's not, I guess it'll be pretty much Ohio State home game the way they travel, but it's not actually an Ohio State home game. That spreads a lot. Like, it is a playoff game.
Yeah.
And Ohio State didn't play for 2 weeks. And Miami is coming off playing. So we know actually the rusting is real, especially with college athletes.
Yes.
I don't like the spread.
Football, baby. I want to see Randall Hill.
Mario Cristobal will come and rear his ugly head.
Yeah, could be the Cristobal. In fact, Ryan Day, not much better in my opinion. So
no, that's Day. And if Day's calling plays, that scares me actually. Day calling plays, you never know what Ryan Day you're going to get. The Ryan Day under Urban Meyer, or you're going to get the Ryan Day that likes to lose in Michigan when he's 10 times better than Michigan.
Yes.
All right, Tony, you have a great Christmas. Enjoy it with the
Merry
family there in
Christmas.
snowy
Happy
Vermont.
Hanukkah,
And Happy New Year,
Lubie,
too.
and Merry Christmas, Jeff. Happy Hanukkah, and
Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Tony.
we'll do it. We'll do it
Next
again next week on Tuesday. We'll be back. Tony Segreto, ladies and gentlemen, live from Vermont. Very festive Tony Segreto today. Want to take a quick break. We'll come back with the professor, college football analysis. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. All right, we're going to do that in just a moment. The professor joining us, so we'll get his thoughts on what transpired last week and what's ahead. We actually have a little time to work on this, these college football games, because the first one is not until a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be the Canes going against Ohio State, which let's hope that they're in this game to the bitter end there and can avenge the horrible Terry Porter pass interference call. And Craig Krenzel, the bitter memories of Craig Krenzel beating the Hurricanes in overtime. Back with the professor and some college football analysis in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:49.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go?
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
The world, I mean, if my point was ever going to be embellished and going to be proven true, the world has gotten a sugar daddy.
Grab a bagel and a schmear, plus some Defo and Lubie. Welcome back to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. It was a great weekend of college football. Things went, the professor, you did very well, I would imagine. Your bankroll is fat. Because the only thing, people flipped those two games. People thought that Tulane had a shot there to cover the point spread against Ole Miss. They get crushed. And nobody thought that Oregon would lose to the spread, especially went down under 3 touchdowns, I think, at kickoff to James Madison. And so
but that was a real kick in the balls. Like, honestly, and
you're up.
I mean, honestly, it's funny because PC and I were talking about it. You look at it like the big 3 feature games of the week for the NFL, and they were all batshit insane beats for you started with the Rams, and then you went to the Packers.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I'm trying to remember what the third one was, but there's another one that blew a double-digit fourth quarter lead. It's like, what the hell is going on? It was the Patriots and the Ravens.
Yeah.
So if you had like a
Ravens, oh my
Rams,
God.
Packers, Ravens parlay,
Oh, Jesus.
like, you had very legitimate causes for suicide. Like, that was 3 of the worst beats I've ever seen.
Unreal.
All lined up in a row. And, you could throw Oregon in there because it seemed like the entire world was on Oregon.
Yes.
And, really, I guess you should have expected some JV time in that one because it was so out of control in the first half. I guess credit to James Madison for keep playing or whatever the hell it was. You say about that. They showed a lot of heart.
Grit.
Yeah. Toughness.
I like that, though. I mean,
Hustle.
you're going to be outclassed. You're getting buried. And I like a team that's comprised of guys that they're just.
I mean, I do too, as long as I didn't lay the
next
points.
quarter or whatever.
I agree with. Yeah, we all like the Rudy BS as long as you're not laying the points.
I like losing the game.
Right. I mean, on the other hand, if you're laying the points, you want Dan Lanning's blood for this.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, if you watch the first half of that game, Oregon could have scored 80 if they wanted to.
Yeah. I had to do a double take when I saw the final, trying to figure out, wait a minute, did James Madison actually cover this 20 and a hook? And sure enough, they got within 17. All right, you're a diehard fan.
I wouldn't say diehard. I'm a UM
He's
fan.
more realistic. He's a realistic.
I was a UM fan Saturday because I thought the whole country, betting-wise, had totally underestimated him. And then Saturday morning, there was like this flood of public sentiment that went Miami's way, so that
Line came
on my
down.
bet with Mayo, I only got plus 120 when on the money line when I should have been getting like plus 140.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was now. What do you make of the game, and what do you make of their chances as you're looking at what's coming up?
I
New
mean,
Year's?
I thought honestly, a few things. Number one, like clearly the public just can't stand watching a defensive game, and that was a very well played game by both defenses. And number two, I thought obviously the wind was a much bigger factor than anybody anticipated. And if you watch the way the ball was moving around, like it wasn't because these guys were, jerking off with it. It was because like there's a little mini hurricane going on
Yes.
inside of that stadium. Like,
Yeah.
again, everybody wants to jump on Miami's kicker's neck. And look, if Miami had lost the game, it would be somewhat deservedly. But yeah, I mean,
it wasn't him.
I was watching Marcel Reed try to throw like a 5-yard simple out and the ball blowing 3 yards off course throughout the course of that game. I thought the Hurricanes obviously came in with one game plan and had to instantly adjust after the first drive, because they realized, blank, our spy linebacker cannot tackle Marcel Reed in the open field when he scrambled for like 3 first downs in a row on that first drive. So what they did is they went to the mush, and they realized pretty early on, the best thing we could do all day is keep Marcel Reed in the pocket and make him try to throw the ball through this wind. And he wasn't up to it, and the defensive line eventually started getting home.
Yeah.
The other weird storyline is all these draft geeks on social media have now gotten really super anti Ruben Bain because he's got the T-Rex arms.
Uh-huh.
And okay, well, did you watch the game? Like, I don't care if his arms are 30 inches long. Like, the dude's a phenomenal 2 or 3 way defensive line. I mean, honestly, starting to remind me a lot of literally any along the defensive line, because he was even getting home on those twist stunts, which are really only designed to keep Reed inside the pocket. And then Miami's offensive line sort of took the game over in the fourth quarter. I thought if you wanted your Mario moment was when we kept throwing the ball the second and third quarter when clearly that's what Texas A&M wanted, because, again, I don't think anybody was going to be particularly accurate. I guess the second Mario moment would have been at the end of the game. You wanted Malachi to slide
down. You should go down, but they won.
I mean, technically would have been the right play, although the way the hell the kicking game was going, I'm not sure how
he might have missed it.
Even about like a 18-yard field goal. The other game, Alabama and Oklahoma, really weird game in that for like a quarter and a half, I was 100% convinced I was dead wrong. And then exactly the game I expected started. Like, Alabama, made Mateer throw the ball. He's not that good at it. They blocked the punt. They returned an interception for a touchdown. In the second half, they came out and their offense kind of dominated the second half of the game. So we got home on that, but it was definitely a weird feeling when I was down 17. And I'm sure it was a weird feeling for Kalen DeBoer's family, because they were probably like, oh God, they're going to set our house on fire. How quickly can we get on that plane to Michigan, Dad?
Yes. I was looking more and more attractive.
But, worked out there. And then, the other 2 games, I was a little surprised Tulane didn't compete at all. Not because of them, but because of the lack of coaching staff at Ole Miss. But then you consider that John Summerall literally spent half his time in Gainesville.
Yep.
And he's sort of, even though the head coach is kind of head coach / DC, where Kiffin, head coach / OC. So maybe that one shouldn't have been as surprising. Really, honestly, I'm going to be honest, and I never do this for college football, but I was actually flipping back and forth with the Eagles and Redskins in the second half, because that game was just so dull. And then Oregon, JMU, I guess you got, as long as the Oregon starters were in there, pretty much exactly what you expected. Oregon, just too much size, too much speed, too much strength along both defensive and offensive lines. I mean, and then, Lanning called off the dogs, which, again, for the gamblers, very sad. I didn't really care because I didn't have an action on the game.
What stands out to you in the upcoming matchups on a preliminary perusal of the board for the
I
upcoming?
mean, the starter as a UM fan is how horrible the weather in Dallas is supposed to be.
Oh, really?
For that game. It's actually supposed to be, now again, weather forecasts. We all know in South Florida you can't trust them.
Yeah.
It's actually supposed to be colder and snowier in Dallas than it is in Columbus, Ohio
Wow.
on New Year's Eve. But I mean, again, as a Canes fan, that sticks out. The number two thing, this new theory that people developed over the last year that the number 5 seed is actually the best seed to have in the college football playoff because you get like a warm-up game against the JV squad.
Yep.
And, you're sort of tuned up. And then you get to go play the number 4 seed, the worst seed that got a bye, who hasn't played for a month, who may be suffering, at least for the first half of the game, for a little rust. And I think the fact
changed the game. Oh my
that
God.
Oregon is favored in that game down here at noon probably indicates that a lot of people feel the same way, that the 5 side. I think, honestly, we got what people called a boring game in Texas A&M and Miami. I thought it was a well-played game, but you have to be able to appreciate defensive football to have liked that game. And then 2 slop games. I think we got 4 really interesting matchups that should be good games. Look, I think anybody who thinks Miami and Ohio State is a true 9.5-point game hasn't paid enough attention to this college football season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Miami's going to win the game, but I think they will be able to compete. Again, weather maybe being a mitigating factor in that one. Oregon and Texas Tech, it's 1.5-point spread. I don't see any reason why Alabama can't go to Indiana and compete. I'm not that sold on Indiana. And then Ole Miss and Georgia was a great game earlier this season. Has Georgia improved since then? Yes, they have. But if you want me to point to one that might be a smokeout, that could be it. But by the same token, it's coming off a game that was a really tight, high-scoring game. 2 months ago? When was I in Cleveland? A month and a half ago. So, in regular season, it certainly wasn't a blowout, and that was at Georgia. So, I think we got really good games. I know Notre Dame fans will continue to cry, baby. By the way, Notre Dame, like you drop USC, you whiny crybaby. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Supposedly, that was on USC.
USC? I think USC did it. I don't think Notre Dame did it.
Look how Notre Dame has behaved for the last month, and tell me you really think that's on USC.
The story I saw said that, or implied that Lincoln Riley didn't want to play Notre Dame in November.
And you think Lincoln Riley has enough muscle with USC the way
and that the AD went along with it, that they just didn't want to be in, and it's a shame. If this
that sounds completely like Notre Dame propaganda, because you notice they dropped it. They dropped that game, and then 2 minutes later they announced the series with BYU. So they happened to have the series with BYU ready to go as a replacement.
They got right on the
3
phone.
3 minutes after they 3 minutes, like it sounds to me like what happened is the crumble cookie guy paid off the Catholic Church and make BYU Notre Dame happy. To me, given Notre Dame's behavior for the last month, the rhetoric for the last month, and the fact that they had BYU ready to go within 3 hours as a replacement. Because, look, we know how this works. It takes teams a decade to schedule big matchups.
Yes.
The fact that they had BYU ready to go literally 3 hours later indicates to me that Notre Dame was the one responsible for dropping that series.
I'm blaming
absolutely inexcusable. It's a series been played every year since 1946. If you want to say, well, it's not the Iron Bowl, it's not Michigan, Ohio State. Okay,
it's huge.
Fair enough.
Huge.
But it's right the next level beneath. And I know which of those two schools, being a Miami fan, has a history of dropping series.
Yeah.
So, again, the only shock to me is that it wasn't like another service academy or the restoration of the rivalry with the University of Chicago. That they actually replaced them with a fairly legitimate opponent in BYU was stunning to me. But, yeah, I mean, look, outside of the crybaby BYU fans, I think we can make a pretty legitimate case that we do have the top 8 teams now left in the playoffs. I mean, I know Mayo won't like that because, Miami being one of those cost him his bets. But
are you going double or nothing on the Ohio State game?
if he wants to give me the money line again and wants to risk his
money
whole
line.
bankroll.
Oh, and the actual price. Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna take Miami straight up and not get the money line price.
Money line's got to be 4 to 1 or
half
something. Oh, 3? That's all?
right. Currently sitting at 3.
Okay.
So
well, let me ask. Okay, so I know we got to go and Devo's got to go, but Devo's reading something and I'm very confused by it. Ryan Day is now going to be calling the plays in the play. Like, who was calling the like? Brian Harling's not a play
calling
caller.
plays before for Ohio
Brian Harling's not a play caller. Chip Kelly was gone already, right? So, like, who was calling the plays before?
According to this little blurb here in my New York Post, which obviously came off some news wire, Ryan Day is about to commence in this spot the offensive play calling. So who was doing it before?
Who was? Because wasn't Kelly in the pros? Like, I don't get it. Brian Harling's not a play caller.
Kelly left for the Raiders at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so like
it must have been Hartline, I guess. I look, we saw it last year with Chip Kelly that Ryan Day certainly had some play calling role, even with a guy like Chip Kelly running the offense. So I'm sure he has called some of the plays up through the championship. I mean, look, the championship game against Indiana looked very much like a Ryan Day game.
Sure did.
So I find it hard to believe. It's probably like Urban Meyer and Dan Mullen, where oh no, Dan Mullen calls the plays, but he's calling it, number one, straight out of Urban Meyer's playbook. And we know, when it's 3rd and short, it's probably Urban Meyer calling the plays. So it's probably disingenuous to say for the first time this year he's calling the plays. I'm sure he's had quite a bit of input on that. I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be in the game. I mean, again,
I hope it's a negative one.
To me, coming into this game, the factors are, number one, can Miami adjust to the weather, which historically has been a problem for all Florida teams. And number two, can Miami's defensive line put up the kind of performance they did against Texas A&M, where they, dominated against the run and consistently, did what they needed to do against Reed? And if they do that, I mean, look, the Ohio State's offensive line did not look like the strength of their team in that Indiana game. It could be an interesting matchup. We will see. I mean, look, in theory, given the type of team Miami is, the weather should actually favor Miami. I mean, if you're looking at Miami in the game they played Saturday, which is a game dominated by both lines of scrimmage, that weather, playing in another snow bowl should be, favorable to Miami in that situation. We'll see.
I thought if you could book the weatherman's action, you'd be a rich man today. Waiver the weather.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, notoriously wrong. So maybe it turns out to be just a pristine oddball day there in Dallas. Although,
I mean, we're going to find out. Look, to the people bitching about the auto bids, go F yourself. Like, I honestly, it's amazing to me that Notre Dame gets left out, and now the entire country is crying about bids for James Madison or Tulane. Who cares? Like, honestly, stop crying. This is the way the system works. And let's be honest, we're headed for 16 teams anyway, so you're going to get your way. You've got your way with the giant playoff. You're going to get your way with an even more giant playoff. And, we've not gotten to the point where the regular season just kind of barely matters anyway. Like,
just don't lose 3 games unless you're Alabama.
Exactly.
You had really Notre Dame going down. I'm upset about that.
I know. I was really upset when I saw that news. You know what it is.
Of the series.
You know what it is, Defo. You can't trust that effing Bavakwa. That son of a bitch Bavakwa with his big mouth.
Bavakwa. Yeah, that's incredible. All right, Professor, you have a good one. Enjoy all of your
Happy Hanukkah, boys.
Thank you.
Remember,
Christmas.
In the spirit of today, in the spirit of Festivus, I got a lot of problems with you people. And tonight you're going to hear about it.
Oh, very nice. All right. Sounds good, my friend. The Professor, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we have to get out of here. We'll join you again on Monday for another short week. I love this. This is my favorite 2 weeks work-wise of the year. outside of retirement, I don't know that there's anything much better. As we will be back with you on Monday. We'll do Monday and Tuesday next week here with the Defo Show, and then hopefully abide by all resolutions of the pursuit of happiness and wealth in 2026. Got to resurrect the old systems here, where cash is just flowing in. So we'll work on that. And you guys have a great holiday, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in, all the support over the year. And we'll be back again with you to celebrate the incoming new year and the outgoing 2025. I can't believe a quarter century gone from the day I was standing in Las Vegas on the streets there outside the Tropicana Hotel between the MGM Grand and the Trop when it still existed. And the clock struck midnight out west in Western time zones, Pacific time zones, and it was 2000. And I thought, wow, I can't believe I made it. I had been calculating for probably a quarter century how old I would be in the year 2000 and what kind of shape I would be in. And here we are, another quarter century gone, Lubie. Unbelievable. Really, really wild. You were like 16 or something in 2000, you were saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 17. Yep.
All right. So old enough to remember. I don't know if you thought about where you're going to be out in 2050, but at that point, you're going to be an old fossil like me.
I will be old. Yeah.
Hopefully, health things and all this other stuff will just continue to advance under the brilliant leadership of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Well-being, or whatever he is, and all of these different transitions where no kids get vaccinated anymore. Will just lead to an easier path to making it to like 125 years old. What do you figure, Libby? Life expectancy with this guy in charge should be shortened by about 6 years. I would think. All right. Thanks, Libby. Always a pleasure. We'll see you on Monday. And thanks so much for being with us, people. Thanks to the professor, Tony Segreto. I'm Jeff DeForce. See you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:10.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.